Now, today we are going to be looking at the most repeated and common questions that JAMB normally asks. And these are the questions you are meant to be expecting whenever you are writing JAMB. And you are supposed to be familiar with these topics related to those questions. Because when you have a good knowledge about these topics, it will be more easier for you to be able to answer these questions. Now we are going to be looking at them one after the other. Now the first one is dimension and unit. In terms of dimension, remember we have fundamental and derived quantities, and all these quantities, they have their unit as well, and from the unit you can be able to derive their dimensions. Now we are going to be looking at some questions that is relating to this kind of a topic, dimension and unit, and how we can resolve them. And before you should be able to understand this kind of question, you need to know a lot of quantities and their formulas, because it's through their formulas that you're able to get their units. Now, for instance, most of the dimension in fundamental quantities we have that of the mass, the time, we have length, and so on. Why the derived? Remember, the derived quantity always depends on the fundamental quantities. Now, at this point, we are going to be looking at some questions related to this topic. Now, we are looking for the dimension for work. They gave us part of the dimension, but the power is missing, and we are asked to find the power. So the first we have to do is this M represents mass, this L represents length, and this T represents time. Now the first thing we are going to do is to generate the formula for work, and because we know that work is equals to force times distance, and don't forget, force is equals to mass times acceleration. We know the formula for unit for mass. We know that the unit for mass is kilogram, while the unit for acceleration is meter per second square. Also, the unit for distance is meters. Now, from there, we say that work is equal to mass, which is for the force. I want to replace the force with mass times acceleration. Your mass is kilogram. You fix it there, mass. Acceleration is meter per second square. Then your distance is also meters. Now, applying the law of indices, the multiplication law of indices states that when we are multiplying, we add the powers. Remember, the power of m here is 1, and this one is also 1. So since there is multiplication connecting the two m, we're going to add the powers, which is 1 plus 1. That becomes m raised to the power 2. So this place becomes kilogram meter square per second square. Now, anywhere you see kg, you put m, which represents mass. Anywhere you see n, you put l, which represents length, including the power. And anywhere you see s, you put t, which represents time. So from here now, the power of the m is 1. Therefore, my a is equals to 1. My b is equals to 2. Then my c is equal to minus 2. Now, we're going to be looking at another kind of questions. Like I said before, for you to be able to understand the dimension of physical quantities, you are supposed to understand more about fundamental quantities as well as derived quantities and their formulas. Now, let's look at this question. The question says, dimension for impulse. Impulse is force times time, and force is mass times acceleration, then times time. Remember, if you see kg, you put m, l, t raised to the power minus 1. Now, this is the dimension for impulse. Now, let's test other quantities. Like the first one, they say energy. Energy is equals to force times distance, and this cannot give us something relating to this. Now that means energy is out of it. Now the next one is Momentum. Momentum is equals to mass times velocity. And don't forget, mass is kg, velocity is meter per second. Now at this point, if I should join together, it becomes anywhere I see kg, I'll put m. Anywhere I see m, I'll put the l. Then this becomes c raised by minus 1. Now as you can see, equals, the dimension is this, and that of momentum, this is also the dimension. So that means the correct option is that of the word momentum. Have the same dimension with that of impulse.